If you're like me, your first thoughts upon hearing the term demand and supply probably go something along the lines of hearing some news about a company's stock flying to an extraterrestrial planet after witnessing a sharp increase in demands, like that one time you heard your weird uncle at the family reunion complaining about the supply of this one company increasing as he witnesses the funny arrow on his phone pulling on Niagara Falls. Demand and supply by themselves have simple enough definitions. Demand refers to the needs of consumers, and supply refers to the amount of product a firm is pumping out. But the real game here is putting two and two together, creating a supply and demand graph, which looks like a cross on a treasure map. And the rewards, depending on who you ask, could be utter financial ruin or some Scrooge McDuck tier shit where the company is swimming in more cash than post-World War I Germany. On the demand and supply curve, there are also the X and Y axis that also demonstrate different values. The X axis refers to the price of the item, and the Y axis refers to the quantity of the item that has been produced. To better understand why demand and supply form an X, we will have to split these bad boys out into separate graphs altogether, creating a separate demand graph and a supply graph. Before we proceed, I'm going to make it very clear that quantity demanded and demand are completely different things, and so are quantity supplied and supply. This is one of the ways economics will attempt to absolutely troll you until you lose definition of all these terms, whilst demand refers to people's willingness to buy a product at any given price, and quantity demanded refers to the amount of products people are willing to buy. This is the part where most economics students will contract short-term amnesia as these terms blur together more than an average Michael P. video. You see, quantity demanded and price are like me and your mother. When one goes up, another goes down. Holding all other factors constant, when there is an increase in the quantity demanded for a product, the price of that product will drop, and vice versa. This is called the law of demand. The law of supply acts a little bit differently as changes in quantity supplied goes according to price. When there's an increase in the quantity supplied, the price of a product will increase as firms will have to deal with the increased input costs and a myriad of other factors. That is why when paired together, supply and demand curve form an X, and that demand and supply curve share an inverse relationship. But what does all this jargon mean when they're put together? Simply put, the cross between demand and supply would tell you what the equilibrium price and quantity is, which is the funny dot right here. The equilibrium price basically means that at this price, the market for that product is balanced, that any temporary increase or decrease in quantity supply and quantity demanded will slowly revert back to this price point. Same goes for equilibrium supply. Only a demand shift or a supply shift will be able to influence the equilibrium price, and the reason why they shift is best left for another day. I hope you learned something new in less boring fashion. This has been Kevinomics, and goodbye.